Welcome back, YouTube. I thought I'd do another bookcase tour. Mostly stayed the same in terms of the books I have, but I have some new additions and I've done some rearranging, so I thought I'd just show you guys what I have so far. And I'll also tell you which of these I have read. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Private message, or if you visit the leatherlibraryblog.com, there is a live chat window in the right sidebar. You can always instant message me there and I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as possible. So let's see here. So we have Thomas Mann stories here. These are all Franklin Library editions. Pensies by Blaise Pascal, I've read this. Faust by Goethe, I have. Thomas Paine, yes. Thomas Mann story, I haven't. Descartes' philosophical works, yes. Paradise Lost, I haven't, but I'm actually really looking forward to this one. Ralph Waldo Emerson's essays, no. Thucydides' Peloponnesian War, I have. And the Tragedies of Sophocles, I have. Not every single one, but most. Down here, we have a mix of Franklin Library as well as Easton Press. So we have T.S. Eliot's collected poems. I've read a few. I have read Aristotle's Politics, as well as Machiavelli's The Prince. We have Tacitus's Annals here. I've read parts of it, use it mostly as a reference book for my papers. War and Peace by Tolstoy. I haven't read this, but I'm looking forward to reading this, and Anna Karenina. We have Livy's History of Early Rome here. I've read most of the book in my Roman history classes. Oedipus the King, I have read this one here, but it's also in the Tragedies of Sophocles as well. These ones here are Franklin Library from here on, and these ones are Easton Press. So we have the Foundation Trilogy. This one is actually signed by Isaac Asimov. I've read the first Foundation, and it was pretty good. I actually liked it. Really political. I'm looking forward to the remaining two books. Melville's Moby Dick, I've read it more than once. So down here we have the Aeneid. I have read that. That's by Virgil. And I've read the first book of the Divine Comedy, which is Inferno. And over here we have Plato's Dialogues of Love and Friendship, which is the Lysis Symposium and Phaedrus. I have read Lysis and Symposium, but I haven't read Phaedrus yet, so I'm actually looking forward to that. These are by Easton Press as well. Down here are some of my favorite books. They're all philosophy texts. These are from the Folio Society. Everything on the shelf and down we'll see is mostly from Folio Society. So we have Plato's Republic. I have read all of these except these two here. Lucretius on the Nature Things and Cicero on the Good Life. I'm in the process of reading on the Good Life. I've read the actual book on the Good Life, but this particular book here, this volume, contains multiple texts, and I'm on the second text right now. On the Good Life was actually really good. It really reminded me of something like Aristotle's Ethics. And I have read Seneca's Letters and Marcus Aurelius, but I am planning on reading these translations here because I have read others' translations. And then lastly, I'll probably read On the Nature of Things last. We have On the Origin of Species. I've read parts of it, usually in terms of reference. And I haven't read this one yet, but I'm actually really looking forward to it. It's Boethius's on the Consolation of Philosophy. These are all by Folio, like I said. Now down here, as you can see, we have Plutarch's Lives. It's a 4-volume set from the Folio Society. I've read parts of it, but mostly as reference. I haven't sat down to actually read them as just a straightforward text. Then we have Mary Beard's Pompeii, the Life of a Roman Town. Once again, I've used this as a reference book, as a secondary source for my papers. And then we have Robert Burden's The Anatomy of Melancholy. Now down here I have some new additions. As you can see, we have the Complete Greek Tragedies by the Folio Society. We have Aeschylus, Sophocles, and 3 volumes by Euripides. And I've read select from them, but mostly from Sophocles. Then we have the Oxford Classical Dictionary, but that's for reference, and Battle by Easton Press, which is more of a photographic reference book. Let's move on to the next bookshelf. So over here, let's just look up here really quick. You guys have seen this before. This is from the Franklin Library. It's the Analects of Confucius. Ender's Game, signed. This is from the Easton Press. Speaker for the Dead, Easton Press. And then this is just a Barnes & Noble version of Dracula. Just got one of my humidors here. We have Pliny's Natural History. As you can see there, 5 volumes. Really great. I've used this as reference. Really, really helpful. And now let's move down to this shelf here. Let's just open the doors. So, we have Edward Gibbon's The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. 8 volumes from the Folio Society. Very helpful as a secondary source. And then over here, let's see, we got some more of my history books. We have The Rise of Rome by Polybius. The Roman Revolution. This is an excellent book. Excellent. But it is a product of Robert Syme's time in terms of the rise of fascism in Europe. You can really see those themes in there. Livy, The War with Hannibal. And we have Robert Lane Fox's The Classical World, an excellent secondary source for classic students. Down here, we have G.E.R. Lloyd's Greek Science, Arrian's The Campaigns of Alexander, and the Epic of Gilgamesh. I haven't read this part of this, but I have read the Epic of Gilgamesh. Absolutely phenomenal. Then we have the Folio Society's Tolkien collection, the Silmarillion, the Hobbit, and the Lord of the Rings. Of course, I've read all these. And then we have 2 editions of the Hobbit here, the 75th anniversary and the 50th anniversary. And another copy of The Hobbit. This is the gift box edition. I have reviews, I believe, on all these books except for Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. If we go all the way down here, we can see we have, these are all Folio Society books. We have The Earth and Intimate History, St. Augustine's City of God, 2 volumes. The Odyssey, The Book of Common Prayer, The Gnostic Gospels, The History of Western Philosophy by Bertrand Russell, Relativity by Einstein. We have 3 books by Richard Dawkins here. The Blind Watchmaker, Unweaving the Rainbow, and Climbing Mount Improbable. I have read The Blind Watchmaker, and I'm really looking forward to these 2 because these are amazing. We have Easy and Not So Easy Pieces by Richard Feynman. Thomas More's Utopia, excellent. And then we have the 2 volumes of the Greek myths. Now let's move on to my last and final bookshelf. I'll just open the doors here. Alright, so we got some Folio Society editions over here. We have Cicero's Orations, The Song of Roland, the Tao Te Ching, and Beowulf. These are some really beautiful editions, especially Beowulf here with the nice leather here. Really nice. Then we have the volumes of, from Easton Press, The Great Military Commanders. As you can see, we have Caesar, Napoleon, Wellington, the 2 volumes of Robert E. Lee, Rommel, and Patton. Down here, we just have some of my pipes here. I've done reviews on them. And then we have the Harpercollins Deluxe editions, except for this one. This is actually from the Hewlett Mifflin Company, how they made a very similar edition for The Legend of Sigurd and Gudrun, but they do have a Harpercollins edition. Probably pick that up in the future. So, as you can see, we have The Fall of Arthur, The Legend of Sigurd and Gudrun, The Silmarillion, The Children of Hurin, The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, Tales from a Perilous Realm, and Unfinished Tales. There will be another edition coming out in this style, the deluxe edition, for Tolkien's translation of Beowulf, and I'll do a review when I get that in. Now we have some Easton Press books here. As you can see, we have John Stuart Mill's On Liberty, Einstein's The Meaning of Relativity, Resistance to Civil Government and Other Writings, The Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, one of my favorite books, The Lives of the 12 Caesars, this is actually one of my nicest editions of this collection here, Revolutionibus by Copernicus, The Fall of Arthur by J.R. Tolkien, awesome, really good book, The Wealth of Nations, Crime and Punishment. I'm really looking forward to reading this. I've read a part of it, absolutely phenomenal. The Republic by Plato, The Last Days of Socrates, a tearjerker, especially when you read the final book. The Making of Middle-earth by Christopher Snyder. Awesome text, beautiful inside, really nice designs, awesome illustrations. You can see my video review for that. Schindler's List, signed by Thomas Kennelly. And then I have The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. These are all Easton Press editions. So let's close that up and move to the bottom. Alright, so I have my illuminated manuscript that I made of The Lay of the Children of Huron, Volume 1. Plan on making 2 additional volumes sometime in the future. I have my custom case, leather case for the Children of Huron. I've done a review on that. And this is a custom bound edition of Habitus Ille, the Latin translation of The Hobbit by Mark Walker. And then I have 2 of my babies here. We have The Children of Huron and The Legend of Sigurd and Gudrun, super deluxe edition, signed and numbered by Christopher Tolkien and Alan Lee. Down here we have the Nautical Classics by the Easton Press. We have Airborne, Gipsy Moth Circles the World, My Old Man in the Sea, just say this one is signed, Airborne, God-Forsaken Sea, Sailing Around the World, and The Cruise of the Snark. Then we have my Harper Voyager Deluxe Slipcase editions of The Song of Ice and Fire. Currently the only 5 books available, since George R. Martin has taken his sweet time finishing the series off. So you have Game of Thrones, Clash of Kings, Storm of Swords, Feast for Crows, and A Dance with Dragons. And finally, down here we have 2 of my limited editions from the Folio Society, the Liber Bestiarum, and then we have the Fitzwilliam Book of Hours. So, that's my bookcase tour. As I get more books, I'll be doing those reviews, so please keep an eye out for those. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, you can either leave them in the comment section below, or you could private message me. And as I said at the beginning of the video, please feel free to check out the leatherlibraryblog.com, and you can instant message me in the live chat widget in the right sidebar. Alright, so that's it for this video, and you guys, keep on reading.